Okay, in this video, we're going to go over the basics of skill checks and success levels and how that's going to work when it comes to space infantry. Now, you're going to generate success levels by doing skill checks for a multitude of different things when it comes to this game. So it doesn't matter if it's node resolution or combat, the basic principles are going to be the same no matter which step that you're actually performing. So let's say, as an example, that our squad is attempting to move to this node here that requires a node resolution involving demolitions, and you need two success level checks here to move to this node. Well, we look at our demolitionist here who has the demolition skill 3. Okay, so when we perform a skill check, we're going to compare his skill against the action points that we generate. And to generate action points, you're going to roll a random number generation, whether it's the basic 1 through 6 D6 that we talked about, or if you're using the extended dice system of 0 through 8. So knowing that, let's say that we roll our D6 to determine his action points, and we get a 5 for our demolitionist. This means that he has generated 5 action points to use in this skill check. Now we are going to compare the action points that he generated against his skill level. We know that his skill level is 3, and to determine his success levels for this, you simply divide his action points by his skill level and you drop any remainders. All right, so you can only have whole results counted in this. Looking at his skill of 3, if we divide 5 by 3, that gives us a success of 1 with 2 action points left over that are dropped. So we would gain 1 success level that could be applied to our demolitions check in this node resolution. Now that's the basic gist of how this is going to work, and it doesn't matter whether or not it's combat or skill checks, whatever it is, you're going to take the number of action points you generate by doing your random number generation, rolling your dice, and you're going to divide that by the skill level of the unit performing the check, whether it's this or the enemies, whatever it is, you're going to divide the number and then drop any remainders. Now, there is another skill check that can affect these, and that has to do with your squad leader and their command value. That's one of the few things that can affect these skill checks. At certain points during the game, once during your node resolution, and also at the start of combat, you will do a command check for your squad leader to see if they generate any command points. So let's say we do a random number generation. We get a 4 for our squad leader at the start of this node resolution, and 4 divided by his skill of 4 gives us a result of 1, no remainder. So we do generate a single command point that we can put on him that he can use. Now, this command point can be used to increase the action point generated by a unit during their activation by 1, or it can be used to affect the combat range for the combat by 1. We will get into that a little bit more specifically later on when we do talk about combat ranges. Now, the thing of it is it cannot affect a skill that has an asterisk next to it. Unfortunately, for our demolitions, it does have an asterisk, so it would not be able to affect this skill. For the purposes of our example, though, let's pretend that the demolitions does not have the asterisk and that our command point could affect the skill check that this demolitionist was performing. So we have a single command point that we could use. Our demolitionist rolled 5 for his action points, and we know we can give a single command point to the unit generating their action points for a skill check to increase it by 1. So in this case, again, making the exception, there is no asterisk, we would increase his action points from 5 to a 6, and we know that his skill is a 3. A action point value of 6 being divided by 3 would give us 2 success levels, allowing this node resolution to be successful in a single skill check.